Have you ever wondered how manipulators control your mind without you even realizing it? The truth is, manipulation is not always loud or overt. It is not about dramatic outbursts or sudden aggressive behavior. It is about subtlety and control that creeps into your thoughts, emotions, and decisions without you noticing until it is too late. At first, a manipulator might appear to be charming, warm, and completely selfless. They might offer compliments that seem genuine, or they might lend a hand when you need help. You might even feel a deep sense of gratitude for their presence in your life. But as time goes on, things start to change. The little gestures you once interpreted as kindness start to feel more like favors with strings attached. The manipulator knows exactly what to say and do to get under your skin, but instead of confrontation, they operate under the radar. The insidious nature of manipulation means it begins with small, almost unnoticeable actions. It can be as simple as making you question something you know to be true. Are you sure that is what really happened? They may ask after you recount a story, planting the seeds of doubt. Or it could be a comment made in passing, like, "Well, I thought you said you would always be there for me." At first, these comments may seem harmless, maybe even a little playful, but underneath them lies the ability to control how you think and feel. A common tactic used by manipulators is playing the victim. This is one of their most powerful tools because it pulls on your empathy and desire to help others. A manipulator will craft a story where they are always the one who is suffering or needs help, and you, being a kind person, naturally step in to provide that support. They might say things like, "I do not know what I would do without you," or, "You are the only one who understands me." This creates a dynamic where you feel needed, but at the same time, it pressures you into always being there for them, even when it might not be the best choice for you. They will often use emotional blackmail as another means of control. This can come in the form of guilt-tripping you, making you feel responsible for their emotions or actions. Imagine a friend who constantly says, "I cannot believe you did that to me, after everything I have done for you." The goal here is to make you feel guilty for having boundaries or for putting your own needs first. Manipulators know how to use your empathy against you, turning it into a weapon that ensures you will comply with their wishes, even if it is to your detriment. Another common tactic is gaslighting, which is a form of psychological manipulation where the manipulator makes you question your own reality. They might deny things they have said or done, insist that you are overreacting, or suggest that you are misremembering events. Over time, this tactic can lead to you doubting your own perceptions and even your sanity. This is one of the most dangerous forms of manipulation because it erodes your trust in yourself and creates confusion, making it harder for you to trust your judgment or instincts. Manipulative people are also skilled at creating emotional chaos. They often play on your emotions, making you feel intense highs and lows in your interactions with them. One moment, they are the best friend or partner you have ever had, showering you with attention, kindness, and love. The next, they pull away, leaving you feeling abandoned or ignored. This inconsistency keeps you on edge and makes you work harder to get back into their good graces. You start to chase the emotional highs, becoming increasingly desperate for their approval and attention. Over time, you find yourself stuck in a cycle of emotional turmoil, unable to escape their grip. What makes manipulation so difficult to spot is its gradual nature. Manipulators do not come on strong at first. Instead, they use slow, subtle steps to break down your defenses. They start with small requests or comments, testing the waters to see how far they can push you without resistance. Once they gauge your level of compliance, they will continue to escalate, using more sophisticated tactics to gain control over your thoughts and actions. One of the key aspects of manipulation is the use of boundary violations. A manipulator will continuously test your boundaries, seeing how much they can push before you say no. They might ask for a favor that seems small, but over time, these requests increase, and you find yourself doing more and more for them, while getting less in return. Manipulative people know that if they can wear you down and exhaust your ability to say no, they have essentially won. Your sense of personal space and autonomy is eroded, making it harder to escape their influence. In some cases, manipulators will also use triangulation, where they create conflict between you and other people in your life. They might tell you that someone else is upset with you or that they are the only one who truly understands you. This tactic divides your attention, making you focus on them while simultaneously undermining your relationships with others. By keeping you isolated and dependent on them, manipulators can more easily control your thoughts and actions. The most dangerous aspect of manipulation is that it often takes place in personal relationships, making it harder to spot. Whether it is a friend, a romantic partner, or even a family member, you might feel that it is your responsibility to put up with the manipulator's behavior. The emotional connection between you and the manipulator clouds your judgment, making it difficult to break free. At this point, it is important to understand that recognizing manipulation is just the beginning. It is not enough to simply identify these behaviors, you must also learn how to protect yourself from them and take action to preserve your mental and emotional well-being. In the next section, we will explore the specific tactics used by manipulators to maintain their hold over their victims and how you can recognize them early. Now that we have understood how manipulation often begins with subtle emotional nudges and tactics, it is time to delve into the specific strategies manipulators employ to maintain their grip on you. These are the tactics that, once recognized, can help you break free from their influence. One of the most powerful tools in a manipulator's arsenal is guilt. Guilt is a versatile weapon because it taps into one of the most universal human emotions, the desire to please others. Manipulators will use guilt to create a sense of obligation, convincing you that you must do something for them, even if it goes against your own interests or well-being. For example, a manipulative friend may say, "You always said you would be there for me when I needed you," or, "If you cared about me, you would do this." This approach makes you feel selfish or unkind for even considering saying no. It clouds your judgment, making it difficult to assert your boundaries without feeling like you are in the wrong. The manipulator may use guilt to escalate the situation over time. What begins as small requests may grow into larger demands. They often make you feel like you owe them something, whether it is because of their past sacrifices or their emotional dependence on you. This ongoing guilt ensures that you keep sacrificing your needs for theirs, trapping you in a cycle where you are constantly trying to meet their expectations, even when it is harming you. Another tactic commonly used by manipulators is playing the victim. Manipulators often cast themselves as the person who is suffering the most in any given situation. They will share stories about how they have been wronged, how they have been hurt, or how they are struggling, creating a sense of emotional urgency. They want you to believe that they are the ones in need of help, and this emotional pressure compels you to act out of sympathy and compassion. For example, a manipulative partner might say, "I do not know how I will manage without you," or "No one else cares about me the way you do." This plays on your emotions and makes you feel indispensable to their well-being. They use their vulnerability to keep you emotionally invested and responsible for their happiness. The more you care for them, the more dependent they become, and the harder it is for you to leave or put up boundaries. Closely related to playing the victim is emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail occurs when a manipulator threatens to withdraw affection, approval, or attention unless you comply with their demands. This can manifest as an overt threat or a more subtle, passive-aggressive statement. They may say, "If you really loved me, you would do this for me," or, "I guess I am just not important enough to you if you will not help me." This kind of manipulation makes you feel responsible for their emotional state, and to avoid feelings of guilt or inadequacy, you may find yourself giving in, even when it is against your best interests. Manipulators also know how to use flattery and praise to create a sense of emotional dependence. They might shower you with compliments, telling you how special you are, how much they admire you, or how amazing you are. This makes you feel good, but it is not about genuine admiration, it is a tool to create a sense of obligation. By making you feel validated, they make you more likely to comply with their requests or continue to meet their needs. You start to believe that your worth is tied to their approval, and that emotional validation becomes a powerful motivator for your actions. One more tactic often used by manipulators is gaslighting. This is a psychological manipulation where the manipulator causes you to question your own reality. Gaslighting is insidious because it often makes you doubt your memories, perceptions, or sanity. For instance, if you remember a situation differently than the manipulator, they might deny it outright. "That never happened," they will insist, or "You are just overreacting." Over time, this constant undermining of your perception makes you second-guess your own thoughts and feelings, leaving you feeling unstable and unsure of yourself. This creates confusion and self-doubt, which the manipulator can exploit to their advantage. The worst part about gaslighting is that it often comes from people you trust, partners, family members, or close friends. It is difficult to confront, as the manipulator convinces you that you are the one who is wrong, not them. This can leave you feeling isolated, anxious, and emotionally vulnerable. Lastly, triangulation is another method used by manipulators. This tactic involves bringing a third person into the equation to create conflict or confusion. The manipulator will often speak negatively about you to others, or imply that you are the problem in a situation. This tactic is designed to create doubt and distrust in your relationships, isolating you further from your support network. By keeping you divided and emotionally strained, the manipulator ensures that you are under constant pressure, trying to manage the conflict they have created. Manipulators will use these tactics because they work. They are designed to wear you down, confuse your thoughts, and keep you dependent on the manipulator's approval. The cycle of guilt, emotional manipulation, and control makes it difficult for you to see things clearly. And as time passes, it becomes harder to break free from their grip. Recognizing these tactics is the first step in freeing yourself from manipulation. But knowing these strategies also gives you the power to avoid falling into these traps in the first place. By understanding how manipulation works, you can protect yourself and take back control of your life. In the next section, we will explore how to protect yourself from manipulators and break free from the hold they have over you. Now that we have explored the tactics manipulators use to control you, it is time to discuss how to protect yourself from their influence and reclaim your power. Breaking free from manipulation can feel daunting, especially if the manipulator has been a part of your life for a long time. But it is absolutely possible. Let us walk through the steps to help you regain control and restore your emotional and mental well-being. The first step in breaking free is to acknowledge that manipulation is happening. This can be difficult because manipulators are skilled at making their behavior seem normal or even justified. It is easy to dismiss the small signs of manipulation when they are wrapped in a veneer of kindness or concern. However, the key is to trust your instincts. If something feels off, if you feel guilty, confused, or constantly on edge after interacting with someone, there is a strong chance that manipulation is at play. Once you recognize it for what it is, you can begin to take steps to protect yourself. Understanding manipulation is not just about spotting specific behaviors, it is also about recognizing patterns. Manipulative people often follow the same strategies over time, and once you see these patterns, you can anticipate their next move. You will begin to notice when they try to use guilt, flattery, or emotional withdrawal to control you. The more aware you are, the easier it will be to stand up to them. Setting strong, healthy boundaries is one of the most effective ways to protect yourself from a manipulative person. Boundaries are not about pushing people away, they are about protecting your own emotional space. When a manipulator knows they can push you to do things you do not want to do, they will continue to overstep your limits. However, when you clearly communicate your boundaries and stick to them, you send a strong message that you will not be easily swayed. Setting boundaries can be uncomfortable, especially if you are used to accommodating the manipulator's demands. They might push back, using guilt or anger to try and get you to change your mind. But remember, boundaries are about self-respect and self-preservation. By holding firm to your limits, you show the manipulator that their tactics will not work on you anymore. It is also important to remember that you do not have to explain your boundaries or justify them. A simple, "No, I cannot do that," or "that does not work for me," is enough. You do not owe anyone an explanation for taking care of yourself. If there is one thing that manipulative people are good at, it is clouding your judgment and making you doubt your own instincts. Manipulators will often make you second-guess your perception of reality, leaving you confused and unsure of yourself. But your instincts are a powerful tool, and they can guide you through challenging situations. If something feels wrong, trust that feeling. One of the best ways to regain your confidence is to reflect on past experiences. Think about moments when you have felt manipulated, when your emotions were used against you, or when you questioned your own thoughts and decisions. Now, look at those situations with fresh eyes. Can you see the manipulative behavior clearly now? The more you trust your instincts and reflect on your experiences, the easier it will be to spot manipulation in the future. Manipulators often work to isolate you from others, making you feel as though you are alone in your struggles. But you do not have to face this challenge by yourself. Surround yourself with supportive people who respect your boundaries and encourage your well-being. Talk to friends, family members, or even a therapist who can help you see things clearly and offer guidance on how to deal with the manipulator. If you are feeling overwhelmed by the situation, do not hesitate to seek professional help. A therapist or counselor can help you rebuild your self-esteem, establish healthy boundaries, and navigate the emotional aftermath of manipulation. Therapy also provides a safe space to talk through your feelings and regain your confidence. Sometimes, the most effective way to break free from manipulation is to cut ties completely. This is especially true if the manipulator refuses to respect your boundaries or continues to manipulate you despite your efforts to stand up for yourself. Walking away may feel drastic, but it can be the most liberating choice for your mental and emotional health. Cutting ties does not always mean a dramatic confrontation. In some cases, it might simply mean limiting contact or creating more distance between you and the manipulator. In more extreme cases, you may need to cut off communication entirely. Remember, your mental and emotional well-being comes first. If someone continuously undermines your self-worth and makes you feel trapped, walking away is a courageous and healthy step. After breaking free from manipulation, it is important to focus on self-care and healing. Manipulation can take a toll on your mental health, leaving you feeling drained, anxious, and emotionally exhausted. Rebuilding your sense of self is essential to regain your strength and resilience. Take time to do things that make you feel good, whether that is spending time with loved ones, engaging in hobbies, or simply taking a break from stressful situations. Self-care is not just about physical relaxation, it is about nurturing your emotional and mental well-being, too. Spend time reflecting on your journey and celebrate the strength it took to recognize manipulation and take control of your life. Remember that healing takes time. It is okay to feel sad, angry, or frustrated as you work through your feelings. Give yourself grace during this process, and be patient with yourself as you rebuild your confidence and sense of autonomy. By recognizing manipulative behavior, setting boundaries, trusting your instincts, seeking support, and focusing on healing, you can regain your power and break free from the toxic influence of manipulators. It is a process, but every step you take is a victory toward reclaiming control over your life. The next step is to embrace your new sense of emotional freedom and never forget the strength you have shown in recognizing and overcoming manipulation.